folks. This soap is from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Crown King line. Now all of it's Crown King, but this is United States Navy Goat. This one here has especially this particular soap has quite a bit of a story to it, and that's what the side label looks like. I would just about call this the, yes, there we go, right there. This would be, I'd call this the original. It's not that the other soap afterwards was any different. It's just that when this one came out, it came out for, I guess you might say, two purposes, dual purpose. At that point in time, Soap Commander, I'm sure a number of you are familiar with that line of soap. Anyhow, their son was involved in a bad car accident, vehicle accident, and was injured, and things were just not looking too good. And therefore, that's what the hashtag is for. But also, this was also to, I guess you might say, in honor of Don the Navy Goat. I just happened to, that's what it looks like there on the inside there. I just happened to be checking Facebook. It was close to lunch, I was at work. And there have been other times, you know, soaps been, you know, released and sold out shortly thereafter. And for me, it seemed like I was always missing out. Sometimes it's either because my budget wasn't quite ready for it. Other times I just flat out missed it, didn't even know it was there. Album block complete with rubber band. So in this particular case, you know, it's getting close to lunch, getting ready to go get some lunch. Checked Facebook, and I went to Shavette World. Witch hazel, and this one here is methylated unscented. And I just happened to be checking the post down through there and noticed that Douglas, right about that time, he posted Shavette World, the soap, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I actually might have a chance to get this soap before it sells out. And sure enough, got lucky enough, and I was one of the lucky ones to get this soap. And Clubman Virgin Island Bay Rum. Talk a little bit more about this. This is also a 6-inch size, 6-ounce size. Anyway, I was really excited to get this soap. At the time, if I remember right, I think it was selling for $10. Just, you know, for me, it's like, woohoo! Beard Oil, Clubman. This is the 1-ounce size, and I think I'm about halfway down through there. So anyway, I got this soap, and really like this scent. If you noticed on the front, it mentions Lavender Bay. That kind of more or less sums up the scent. I got it whipped up here in a bowl from Bangalore. Whipped it up in the way of a yogurt consistency. I think I waited just long enough for it to thicken up just a little bit, because it was pretty drippy earlier when I was whipping it up. And this brush, you're going to have a hard time finding one of those. Anyway, this is one of the few times early on in when I first started wet shaving that I was able to jump on something that was, I guess you might say, a new release before it sold out. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it sold out before the end of the day. I might be wrong. It was a while back. But I was just so excited to be able to get it, because I like bay rum, even though I don't have as much as what my wife thought I was going to end up with. You got some, the cube is getting smaller, Preshave, but I do like bay rum. I have, matter of fact, the next few days, today, tomorrow, and Monday, I have different bay rums right now. I have this one here. I call it a bay rum even though it's lavender. It has lavender in it. It's just a different version of it, if you will. I have Colonel Conk's bay rum, and I like that one. As a matter of fact, I got the aftershave to go with it. The aftershave, I think, is it's different. I like it. Definitely like the container that it's in. Just don't see very many postings with it. It's not the easiest to find either. In other words, it's not like Clubman. You can find Clubman darn near anywhere. And that 6-ounce container, I got a link down below to a website. And I guess you might say about the average price, if you will. 6 ounces for $6.50. That's a heck of a buy. And the other, I have one more. No, I think I got maybe 2 more. Bay rums. But I do enjoy. I like the scent. Not to be taken away from the shaver of the day. It's the Hydra. This one here came with 6 plates, interchangeable. Going to be shaving with plate number 1 throughout all 3 passes, and with a feather blade. And we're going to see how it works. Guess you might say that's my story. My first time I was able to jump on a new release with the quickness and be able to get it. Nowadays things have changed a lot since then. I say changed a lot in a number of cases. You know, these are made in small batches. Small, that term is, you know, pretty broad. Here's the shaver. If you can tell, there's the blade exposure. That's one thing I like about this shaver. As it goes for the blade, the way this angle is set, it doesn't scare the heck out of you by seeing the blade stick out a half a mile. This one here looks like, yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. I can shave with that. Small is kind of a relative term. What small may mean to one person is different to another. Kind of like scents. Some may not like the clove scent. I like it. It's more of what I would consider a manly scent when it's like that. Razor Rock, for instance, Black Bay, that's different all the way around. It's green. It whips up green. Stays green. But it's a bay rum. I'm very happy to have that soap. I really do like it. Now yesterday I got excited and forgot to change out the plates. Shaved with this number 6 plate with a Gillette Silver Blue for all 3 passes. Got a very smooth shave. Today, using a feather blade in what should be the mild plate, plate number 1. I don't know if you can see this or not. It is probably pretty hard to. There's just a single notch right there. But using a feather blade, I can tell that the feather blade is in there, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. You can probably look at it in a different way. With a feather blade with the number 1 plate, I would almost venture to say you could probably get a good 5 shaves out of it without any problems. Kind of helping you stretch your use out of a feather blade a little bit longer. Yeah, that was a very exciting day the day I got that ordered, especially at that price. That was a steal. If I remember right, they were selling for $10. Another reason why they didn't last very long. If you're familiar with Douglas's soaps, they usually start around the $15 mark. And this one here was selling for $10. They were raising funds, you know, for the family. And they wanted it to sell. it wouldn't have mattered, $10, $15, I still would have bought it. I'd followed Don's postings for quite a while. He doesn't post near as often as he used to. Like most of us, you know, we're getting older. Health issues come up. But he has some nice vintage shaving gear. Boy, this is creamy too. Yeah, it did let it set just long enough where it's not real drippy with wetness. I can tell you this much, my face is going to feel pretty good when I'm done. This is one of these soaps, it's mentioned from time to time about instead of using the alum or the witch hazel, just work the residual soap into your skin at the end of the shave. I tried that a time or two and it does work out well. It's just I also enjoy the aftershave, or the balm, whatever I happen to be using that day. If you're wondering about how mild number 1 plate is, it hits the spot. It is mild. Even with a feather blade, which is what I expect. So I mean, you know, is this going to be a shaver for everybody? Probably not. And the reason why I say that is because right now it's made out of plastic. But for others, there will be other folks that will really enjoy this shaver. I mean, I've been getting some pretty good shaves with it. Can't complain a bit. You might look at it, like I say, from a different point of view. You have a shaver that's lightweight. That you can take with you on a trip. Doesn't take up much room. You got different plates. In other words, you can get the shave that you're looking for. You want an aggressive one? Not a problem. You want a mild one? You got that too. And you don't have to take different razors with you. And like I said, it is lightweight. And it's not your more expensive shaver. In other words, you're not risking, like for instance, losing your $100 razor or whatever the case might be, or even your favorite razor. Not that this one wouldn't be your favorite, but I would think it's a little bit easier to replace sometimes. It's kind of like the some aftershaves at Italian barber. Sometimes, you know, you can tell they're very popular because they're not always in stock. Very difficult to get one, and especially, you know, like I say, if you're working within a budget, sometimes when it's available, that's not when your budget is available. Yeah, matter of fact, I don't think, at least at a new price, I have seen Douglas's soaps at that price since then. With what I got left on my face, I'm quite sure I could shave with that on there. Just that quick test I did with the Cube was, that was pretty cool. More than enough slickness from the Preshave soap to get a quick one-pass shave if you wanted to, or more, depending on what you're wanting. Different way of looking at things, I guess you might say. I watched our lather be shaving this morning. Woke up with a splitting headache this morning, and slowly getting around, and watched that video with the extreme shaving. That's pretty wild. I've seen some of those videos, you know, with the axe and whatnot, and it's like, nah. Oh, guess you might say I value my face too much to even attempt something crazy like that. think in some cases, some of the razors that they come out with nowadays is kind of crazy. Trying to, I remember, I can't remember who it was that I saw. I haven't seen it very many times. It was a double-edged safety razor without the safety bar. So in other words, the base plate seemed to be underneath the cap just a little bit, so the blade exposure was sticking out there quite a bit. To me, that razor just looked scary. Like, nope, I won't try that at all. I think it was Rico. I can't remember. I guess you might say it's one of those situations where it's cringy, because you just cringe when you see somebody, you know, shaving with something like that. It's like, ah. It's kind of like, how do you survive a shave like that? Because I mean, that blade was sticking out there. No, I mean, you know, sure, you shave with a straight razor or shave head. Yeah, there's nothing there. It's just the blade sticking out there. Just for some reason, in my mind, that's different. That's a lot different. It's the mental aspect, I guess, you got to get past. For me, sometimes it's seeing that blade sticking out there when you're used to seeing it kind of sort of guarded. It can be alarming. It is kind of odd to me that when I first started shaving with a shavette, how some folks would view a shavette versus a straight razor. I guess it's because of the number of videos they may have seen, you know, that kind of pitted them that particular direction. For me, it was all about the technique, and it might be a lot like with the DE with a lot of these shavers. Now, I guess you might say I had my share of shaves where I definitely learned about that gentle pressure and making that adjustment from one shaver to the next, because they are different weights. And this being plastic, that is one of those challenges that a person may have to adjust to. So if you're not accustomed to shaving with a lightweight razor and you're trying something like this, you might want to give it some consideration that you may have to get in a few shaves before you get used to the weight. How much pressure do you need to put on there? Because the term, you know, being gentle or light pressure is, they really are, you know, pretty serious about that. If you're looking at getting a good shave, you're going to have to figure out what the pressure is that works best for you. And I think over time I have learned, with all the different shavers I've had, learn how to adjust that pressure. It's just I also know naturally the heavier the razor, the easier it is for me to get used to it. And I know for some other folks it could be the exact opposite. I think maybe where part of my background was that, you know, I had a beard for, my wife and I were trying to figure it out. We're thinking somewhere between 15, 20 years, full beard. So all I'd ever trim up was the upper cheeks and down below the neck, and it got to the point where I decided I wouldn't buy any more cartridge razors. And so all I would do is take the guard off the beard trimmer and just, you know, trim up where I needed to trim up on the upper and lower, and I was done. That was the extent of my shaving there for a good number of years. And so actual shaving with a cartridge was many years behind me. And so when I started wet shaving, it was a whole new experience for me. And so I didn't have, I guess you might say, those bad habits from the cartridge days really haunting me, because it's been so many years behind me. Menthol. nice cooling. But I also feel like I have all those years missed out on some awfully good shaving equipment, vintage stuff, or injectors. I like shaving with the injectors. They work well for me, and I think it has a lot to do with my beard type. It's really nice. I get good shaves with injectors. Like I say, this is a good value. 6 ounces, $6.50. I got the link down below. Same thing with the razor. I got a link down below where you can get it from. If you look at some of my other postings, you'll see some YouTube video attached to it. Excuse me. Showing how, I guess you might say, how we came from one point to the next point for this shaver. I'll try to remember to put a link down below. But I got more than one bottle. I bought 2. And this is just awesome stuff. But if this scent is not for you, you can always check out some others. Like I say, it's hard to describe some of the scents, so you might check with, I guess you might say, other folks that are better at describing scents. But like I say, in between Italian Barber's Razor Rock Black Bay, as well as Colonel Conk's, all 3 of these different scents. Still a bay rum to a degree, but different scents. The smell is just totally different. I think that's the reason why I like the ones that I've got, is because they're bay rum, but they're different. They just fit all in the same category. It's like barbershop scents. There's a wide variety of them. You may have 3 or 4 different barbershop scents, and they're all different. Similar, but different. Face feels really good. I don't see any nicks, cuts, weepers. It went pretty smooth with the feather blade. No stinging from the alum block. That was one thing I was kind of surprised with the feather blade. I was kind of expecting a little spots here and there. Didn't have anything at all. Great shave today. So tomorrow, I think what I'm looking at is this package here. I think I'm going to use this open comb tomorrow with the white cap here. I think I'm going to use that one tomorrow. I have another shaver that I got in the mail here recently. Boy, talking about a challenge. We'll get to that here pretty soon, and a few more shaves down the road, but I had a great shave. Look at that. That's a whole nother shave at least. Really enjoyed this brush. Liked how the knot's shaped. Anyhow, hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.